Hey guys. Well, I knew somebody was going to want to hear about this story, being I mentioned a little bit of it in the other video that I did yesterday and uploaded it this morning about when I was out front watching the fireworks that the people that live just on the north side of the woods over here, where they live on the shore of our lake. And this was on the 4th of July, you guys. And it was about 10 o'clock at night. And they were, the people that live over there on that portion of our lake, they, I guess they're very popular people. They have quite an estate over there, and they set off fireworks. Every year they do this, every year. Sometimes they do it multiple times a year. They'll do it for Memorial Day. They'll do the 4th of July, they'll do the Labor Day, all your big, summertime holidays is when these people will set off professional fireworks, the big ones. When they go off in the sky, they're really big and wide, and then you get that bright light, and it sounds like a half a stick of dynamite going off. I mean, it's the big professional fireworks. These things aren't cheap. They must spend, if I had to guess, I really don't know what they cost, but maybe $7,000 on the fireworks. It's not cheap to do what they do. Anyway, when they do it, they send them off high enough to where if Sandy and I are out front, sitting on the front steps or just sitting on the porch, they go off high enough in the air to where the trees do not obstruct the view. I mean, it's right above the woods. You can see a full display of fireworks going off, and then after they send off so many for so long, then they do the grand finale, and then the sky just lights up with all kinds of fireworks exploding in the sky right over the tree line. Well, this year when this happened, and this was just a couple years ago, on the 4th of July, 10 o'clock at night, I started hearing them go off. I heard the fireworks being shot off and exploding in the sky, so I knew they were starting to do it. So I went outside. And I was standing. I went just to the edge of the porch of our 3 steps that go down to a cement sidewalk, and I was just standing there, and I was just looking directly north over the woods and watching the fireworks they were sending out. Fireworks of all colors. And Sandy was sitting right there in the rocking chair talking to her sister that lives on the other side of the lake, because this lake goes from north and it goes all the way, bends around kind of like to the east, and then it goes south again way down that way. So we live, basically right on the lake. And so she was talking to her sister that lives down on the other side of the lake from us. And so I went outside and started to watch the fireworks by myself because Sandy was in a conversation with her sister. So I was standing there for probably no more than 4 minutes, watching, firework after firework being shot up into the sky. And then, and believe me, you guys, this is a video that's either going to make you laugh, say, oh, come on, and unsubscribe. Who knows? But what I am going to tell you in this video is 100% true. 100% true. I swear to God on my life that this happened. I even can't believe I saw what I saw. But here it goes. After 4 minutes of standing on our front porch, watching these fireworks go off, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I turned to look in the direction of what caught my vision in my peripheral vision. And right over here, still to my north, but to my northwest, looking at an angle, right over the same tree line as the woods continue all along Interstate 86, I saw this over the trees. Now, I'm an artist, okay? As most of you know, have seen my drawings on my channel, but there is no way that I could ever color this to be exactly like what I saw. This thing was about the size of this pole barn garage right across from me right here. If you took that garage and stood it on end, a full-size pole barn, that's how big this thing was. And it was right above the woods. This is the tops of the trees with leaves on the trees because it's summertime. And this thing was emitting enough light to where it illuminated the tops of the trees of the woods like daytime. And what this thing was colored like, you guys, because it was all lit up. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this and looked directly at it was Christmas. Because my grandmother, many years ago when I was a kid, had ornaments on her Christmas tree that were shaped just like this. Vintage Christmas ornaments. And they were glass, but they were like ornaments that if you put glue all over them and then rolled them in very colorful glitter of every color in the Crayola crayon box, you know what I mean, the whole spectrum of the color, and rolled it into glitter. But it didn't like it had glitter on it. It's like the glitter were lights, but it was every color known to man on earth was on this thing. And for every light that faded out, another one came on. And if that went out, another one came on. And it was just millions of them doing this. And it was the most beautiful thing. And that's why when I was looking at it, I thought Christmas. I thought, man, that thing is beautiful. It was, you guys. It was absolutely beautiful. And at the bottom of it, right on the very tip that was closest to the tops of the trees, was just one big solid red light. Now this thing was not a helicopter, it was not an airplane, it was not a hot air balloon, it was not a weather balloon. This was a machine hovering in the sky over the wooded tree line over here. It was a machine. You could not hear it, but the thing gleamed with life. Just gleamed with life. And this strip right here, up right above the part of it that flared outward, just like you see in this drawing, this was a clear window that went all the way around the thing, just a strip of a window. And I thought, this is surreal. I swear to God, you guys, I could not believe what I was looking at. And I did not like freak out. I did not run into the house. I just turned around and I kept looking a minute, and then I turned around and I came in the house and I went right around here to this cabinet and I grabbed my binoculars. These big binoculars, and these are high powered. And I told Sandy, she's still sitting here on the phone, I told her, I says, come here, you've got to see this. And she's on the phone and she's just like, you know, like just a minute. She was still talking to her sister and she probably thought I was talking about what I was seeing with the fireworks. And I just said, come here, you got to see this. And when I went outside, you guys, and put these up to my eyes and focused in right on the thing, because I was shaky, so what I did is I put these against the corner of the house, right out here where we come up the steps. To stabilize the binoculars, I rested them against the corner of the house so I wouldn't be shaken, because I could not believe what I was looking at. So when I put it against the house and then looked through them, excuse my language, but all I said to myself was, holy shit. I could not believe what I was seeing, you guys, in this window, right here. In this window, if this thing was up close, this window would probably be no more than 20 inches. That's what it seemed like in relation to the distance of it, but in this window, you could see where the thing was lit up on the inside. And it was like, you guys know those headlights on the new cars today, the Silver Star, where a car comes at you and it's like blue, and you know, it bothers my eyes. I like the more warmer yellow type headlights that come at you, like the older cars. Those bright blue Silver Star lights just affect my eyes when I'm driving. They blind the hell out of me. But that's what the inside of this thing was lit up like those Silver Star lights, like LED blue lights. And in this window, I swear, you guys, I know this sounds nuts, but through those binoculars, put against the house so I could steady them, looking at this device that was over the woods, in this window, I saw heads walking back and forth. and there'd be like two that would get together, and they were looking, and then one would walk away, and then another one would come over to them. There was multiple beings, creatures, whatever you want to call it. They were in this thing, and they were looking out the window, but they weren't looking over here at me. They were looking at the fireworks. The fireworks that were being sent off that night attracted this thing, and this thing came out of nowhere and came right down to the treetops to look at the fireworks. These things were looking in the direction of the fireworks. They probably were curious. But I saw heads, just heads, no bigger than my own head, looking out this window at the fireworks. And I could not see their faces because they were looking that way. They were looking at an angle, but I was just seeing the sides of their heads. And because of the light that was inside of this thing, the heads basically looked almost like the same color as the light inside there, because there was like a bright light that illuminated the whole inside of this thing to where there was like no shadows. It was like an all surrounding light, but it made the heads look like a bluish hue, and they were looking out this skinny strip window, you guys. I swear to God, that's what I am telling you is true. And these heads, they didn't look like human heads, but they weren't like huge. They weren't much bigger than my own head. But the only way I can explain it is if you were in the parking lot of a modern school, and there was like where they have the science room, and it's just like a strip of glass, and the classroom is looking out the window down into the parking lot, and all you saw were the kids of the classroom, just their heads looking out the window. That's what this was like. And this thing sparkled and gleamed just like Christmas. It was like if you took the whole city of Las Vegas at night and just squished it all into this shape. It was like every neon, every type of light, bulb, and color, and everything, all in this thing. This thing just twinkled and glistened with every light and every color known to man, all wrapped up in one. This thing was totally 100% covered in lights. There was no sound. It did not just and like, you know, at warp speed take off into the sky. I watched this thing for at least 2 solid minutes. 2 minutes through the binoculars, and just watched as it just sat over the trees, and then it just slowly went off to the northwest and went away from the house. And as it went away, you could see it slowly go down behind the wooded tree line. And you could just watch it until it disappeared, because it just kept going. It wasn't lowering to the ground, it was going away. But as things go away on the horizon, it gets smaller and smaller, and then it becomes obscured by all the trees over there. And I just watched, and as it traveled, you guys, very slow, it went from lighting up the trees where it was, and then as it went away, the trees went dark again. But then as it went over the other trees, those trees started to light up. So the light that it was emitting followed it. And so these trees went dark, and as it traveled, then it was lighting up the other trees it was going over. So it was casting a light where it was moving to. And it just went away. And then after it went away, then all the trees just went back to dark. It was night. And the fireworks were still going. They hadn't even gotten to the grand finale yet. And this thing just was watching, and then it disappeared. And it just traveled towards the next town. And there was nothing on the news about it. I didn't hear anybody talk about it. I don't know if I was the only one. I couldn't have been the only one that saw it, because right out here, you guys, is Interstate 86. And there was vehicles traveling it. They had to have seen this thing. They had to have, because it was just on the other side of the highway over these woods. And it was watching the fireworks. And I saw that thing up close in these binoculars, you guys. And I swear to God, if I could live to be 100 years old, and I will never forget seeing that thing. Never. It's still just as vivid in my mind 2 years later now of when I saw it. It seemed like last night. It's that vivid. But there were things inside of that thing controlling it. I actually saw movement and things inside that craft, whatever you want to call it, looking out the window. I know there's probably nobody going to believe this video. Nobody. I'll probably get a bunch of thumbs down. People will unsubscribe and they'll be like, man, this guy's crazy. I can't help what I saw. And not only did I see it with my own eyes, but then when I went and got the binoculars and steadied them against the corner of the house right out front out here so I wouldn't shake so bad, because in the binoculars it was going like this, but because I was shaking. So when I put it against the house and I looked, and I held on real tight and pushed against the side of the house, and then the image got real still, and I was looking right at it. And there's no way, with those lights, the way that thing was shaped, the way it was able to suspend itself in the air like that, there's no way. I don't even believe our government could make something like that. That was something that came from somewhere else. Believe it or not, doesn't matter to me. I'm only telling you guys a true story of what happened. I was outside to watch fireworks. I don't ever have UFOs on my mind. I don't even like to call them UFOs because everyone's like, yeah, I saw a UFO. You know, I don't like to even call them that. It was a craft in the sky, down low, right over the treetops, that was not of this earth. And there were things inside of it, beings, living beings looking out that skinny strip of a window, and it was just a strip. And they were looking out through that strip. I don't think we're alone in this universe, you guys. We are definitely not alone. And what they were and where they came from, I cannot say. I don't know. I'm just an average guy. I don't know much. I don't know anything about space or planets or galaxies or stars, or I don't know anything about any of that stuff, you guys. All I know is what I saw. And what I saw was 100% real, and I never seen that thing again, but I swear on my life, I didn't have this new Canon camera that Sandy got me for Christmas when I saw this thing, or I would have filmed it. Believe me, I would have got a video of it. But if this thing ever returns over anywhere of our woods out here, you can take it to the bank that I'm going to get that thing on video. I swear I will. To this day, I'm still waiting for that thing to come back, because I will do a video of it and I'll zoom right in on it, and I'll have my camera on a tripod so it's not all shaking all over the place. I'll have it fixed on a tripod and I'll zoom right in, and then you guys will be able to make up your own mind. Because if this thing returns, I'm getting it on video, and I'll prove to you guys what I saw. If it comes back, I promise I'll do that. Or any other one that I may see. If I see anything like that again, I'm going to videotape it. And then I'll upload it on my channel, and then you guys can make up your own mind, because I am not no special effects expert. There's no way I could fake anything like that in a video. So if I get it on video, you'll see for yourself. I know it sounds crazy, guys. I'm only telling you what I saw. That's all I can do. I can't prove nothing until it comes back and I can get a video of it, because I didn't have this camera at that time. I got that for Christmas the following year, my Canon camera. And it's getting to where I need to replace it now because it's starting to have issues. But I'll get it if it comes back. Make of it what you will, you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in another upload. Bye-bye.